Welcome to the show, everyone. Have you ever had a mentorship? And maybe you've heard about mentorships, but how about a walking mentorship? That's probably a new idea for a lot of you. And I'm really excited to talk to two guests today, Dana and João. And they did, well, you'll hear all about it, about the walking mentorship and who did what. Welcome to Travel That Touches Your Soul, podcast and video channel where we bring you the people and places around the world that help you connect with something greater than yourself and help you fulfill your heart's desires. I'm Karen Cleveland. I'm your host, and as I said, today's guest, Dana, is a mom, an athlete, an educator, a philanthropist, an advocate for cancer research, and travel enthusiast. So her recent travel motto is yes to new experience. And I believe that's how she got onto this trip with João of a walking mentorship in Portugal. So welcome to the show, Dana and João.
Okay.
Erin,
Yeah.
Thank you.
be here.
So glad to have you. So, Dana, you were a guest on this
Mhm.
experience, and Joao, you had designed the experience. Do one of you want to tell a little bit about what we're going to see and what the trip was all about?
Sure. Go ahead, Joao.
All right. Well, so my name is João. I'm the founder of Walking Mentorship. It's an organization that was created in 2015. And since that year, we have been taking people from different places around the world to different places around the world. But especially, we take people to themselves. So we combine walking, mentoring, and nature in the same experience. And we create, let's say, a space where people can slow down, because these days seems to be something very difficult to do, reconnect with themselves, and as a consequence, reconnect with the people around them. And then organically, we will get to the third moment of our program, which is about gaining perspective. So when we understand where we are, when we understand where we are today and where we would like to be in the near future, we gain perspective. And the final moment of all our programs, it's about taking action. So whatever insights, whatever ideas, whatever good emotions and feelings, which I'm sure one way or another you will get them, it's good to pass them into something tangible, something actionable, because all this experience somehow, and that's the rule of life, they will fade. It's normal. But if you turn them into actions and you can actually see them in your daily day, in your life, then actually the possibilities for you not only to achieve what you want, but actually to prolong the experience, I think it stays probably for a much longer time and with a bigger impact. So in a nutshell, that's what Walking Mentorship does. And I'm very happy to be here with Dana, because I think we had an incredible experience last October in Portugal.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, so we're going to have Dana explain what she was going through as she went on this mentorship. And I love what you said though about coming back to themselves. That's a very important key for people and also helping the experience last. So much to talk about in that. But let's get on. So I'm going to share a screen. So here we have people looking over a bluff over the ocean. So Dana, what are we
Yeah. So I'll back up just a little bit. Our trip, we took a week-long walk in the south of Portugal. Can you pronounce it for me, Joao? Vincent?
Sure. It's Vicentina Coast, or
Mhm.
more precisely, where we were in the Fisherman's Trail.
Yes. And that's very true, because often we would come upon a bluff like this and look down and see fishing boats entering the water on a nice, little docking spot. But this particular bluff, we came upon a beautiful vista. I think we were about 3 or 4 days into the trip. And I remember waking up that morning thinking, I want to walk. I was so excited to walk. I want to walk fast today. I want to be in the front. I can't wait for what we're doing. Didn't quite know. There was a little instruction to wear swimsuit under our hiking gear, but I had done that the day before. It was wet, so I wasn't doing that on this particular day. I was in the front of the pack when we woke up, started walking around 8 or 9 in the morning, and Joao was our leader that morning. and his partner Nunu was in the back of the group, not pictured in this photo. And I remember Joao explaining that we might cross a river today. And he continued to keep the expectations low by saying we may or may not be crossing this river. But I knew in my head that I was crossing the river. That was happening. So that introspective part of the walk was coming true. I knew that there was something coming for myself. It was going to be a huge accomplishment, feel that way. And that's what this river crossing became for me. So here we are looking down from the vista. You can see the expansive ocean. And then to the left is the river that I'm referencing. And in kind of the middle of the picture, there's a cute little fisherman's town. We weren't able to get to that town unless we went inland a ways and came back, or traversed down and cross the river and then come over to the other side of the beach. So it appears we're on the beach side, but we really aren't from this photo, if that makes sense.
So that is a river. It's not like an
That's the river.
inlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure about the name, but it was pretty sizable cross. And we can go to the next photo. Oh, this shows the weather. It was a nice, beautiful, sunshiny day with a little bit of cloud coverage. So here we are. Oh, we sat up on that bluff for about an hour watching the tides and looking for the right timing and opportunity to be able to cross the river. And this seemed like the right time. It was about 1 p.m. And here's our group. There were 12 of us, I believe, in our group heading down to the river.
I want to go back just for a second. You said you were ready to walk. At that point, you had already walked for 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah. My story included a little bit of adversity because I had stepped on something and gotten stung. And this is what Joao and I have in common right in this very moment, where we can get through pain when needed. And so I woke up feeling, I also had a sickness on the trip, and I woke up feeling really good that morning. So it was that personal perspective where my physical finally matched my psyche.
Okay. You're ready to go.
I was ready. So we get down to the river bank, and here you can see it in the distance. It's a little bit of a rocky area, and Nunu was going to be our leader in crossing. He's pictured in the hat, helping Jen in the middle of this picture. And he started taking off his shirt and his gear and his shoes. And so I immediately did that as well, because I knew I was going to cross the river. And when he was ready to cross, I was ready. I watched him enter the water. He had his pack on his head as pictured here. And so I put my pack up. We carried our bags the whole trip. That's part of, you just take with you what you need and leave what you don't. So we were eager to have our gear up here. I followed about 5 or 6 steps behind Nunu, and I just watched to make sure if he slipped down, I wasn't going to keep going. But as long as he stayed nice and level, I was going to follow him. And so that was my experience, and I think that was everyone's experience. It was a little bit of follow the leader. As we entered the water, I could see beachgoers on the other side of the river playing in the waves. I could smell some of the ocean and the restaurant smells in the air. It just became like a really acute feeling, like you just kind of sunk into your body a little bit. I could feel it was a little bit of slimy, sandy type of feeling under the feet, but still really comfortable, which is important when you're trying to stay steady and level while doing the river crossing. The water felt cool, but not too cold. We had been in the ocean already a couple times during that trip, and it was a little cooler than the river. So it was really kind of a warm, nice feeling to get into this river.
So you were barefoot.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So our shoes, you can see in some of these, and you'll see in further photos that we have our hiking boots attached up above us. And we just basically had to kind of get down to the nitty gritty and cross some things that were okay to get wet. And for the most part, we didn't want our gear wet, because at the end of the day, we wanted things dry for the next morning. So we were thinking ahead, of course. So here we are. Nunu and I had already reached the other side, dropped our bags and then turned around to take some of these photos. This is the rest of our group crossing.
So, well, did you know ahead of time how deep the river was?
Well, we actually never know until we get there. Usually there's a couple of things that the group doesn't need to know, but we do. For instance, when we stopped, there was this high viewpoint. We were up on a cliff. The good thing about technology is that on that moment, I put up in the air our drone. And actually, I
Oh,
drove the drone all the way down to the river crossing, and I saw if somebody was crossing and what was the height of the water at that moment. Even knowing that we will be there just 45 minutes later, which means that the water might be either upper or down. So you don't really know, but you have a certain level of certainty. That was one. The other thing is to check the current, because if the current is too strong, it's just too dangerous. So we will never do it because safety is always first.
yeah.
But on the other side, and doing this already for quite some years, we also know that has the potential to be a very important moment in this day and in our program in this specific route, because it coincides as well with the exercise that we are doing. Because you see, all the places we stay, all the experience we are providing, it has the objective to amplify the exercise you are doing on this day. And this is a day where actually people, as far as I remember, they really needed to start bringing their vision of their ideal future down into something very real. So, and believe me, crossing a river, it's very real, because you understand that you have this beautiful dream of crossing to the other side, hopefully in one piece and with all your clothes dry. But then you still need to face questions, doubts, maybe some fears, at least until you get half of the way, and then you understand that it's nothing. So it's a metaphor, actually. This river crossing is a very strong metaphor, and the moment you understand that safety is guaranteed, then the whole experience just takes you to a totally different level in your journey. And I guess that these are the small things that, in the end of the day, they can become quite big. And yeah, it was really beautiful. I was the last person crossing. Actually, on this picture, I can see myself right at the back, putting the drone back inside my backpack, because I also wanted the drone to be dry. And I have to tell you that there are two beautiful visions of the group. Obviously, one, it's when you are in front and you are making sure that everybody follows you in a safety way. But my favorite position when I'm walking with the group, actually, it's in the back, especially after 3-4 days walking with the group, and you understand and you see how autonomous, how independent, how much authority in your life. You see all these people, and then you realize that this is probably the best ever work, job, service I ever done in my life, because you can really see how useful you can be when you see these people going, so tall into their ideal future.
Yeah.
Like about that photo where we're descending, you taking the photo from the back and you can see the whole group. It's really cool.
Yeah. I have to say that when we have shown this picture on social media, and we had a group in the same route in March,
Oh, yeah.
they were very disappointed because they could not cross the river, because
Oh, no.
they didn't know, actually. So we did not raise the expectations, because
Okay.
we understood that probably would be not the ideal condition. So we didn't even try. We didn't even got any close to
Yeah.
the river, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a little bit like ignorance is bliss. So if you don't know that there is there, it's okay.
Yeah.
Then
That's
you
right.
realize it 7 months later that there was a possibility.
Right. That's a big river, too.
I don't know, Dana, but
It
I
never
would say
got, yeah, too high on me, but I'm on the taller side.
this would be
Yeah.
an easily 300, 400 meters crossing, actually.
Right.
So I don't know that in miles, but
Wow.
it was quite long.
Here's Brandon. He's getting to the other side, and I think João might be he's still on the other side, getting ready
Yes.
to the water. You can kind of tell, and probably in the next photo too, that one side, oh, this is my friend Susie. So
can
my
see
favorite
this
part
guy.
with these photos is seeing the smiles, because you can feel the accomplishment of reaching the other side, keeping your gear dry, and crossing the river together. And as I mentioned when I started the story, I knew I was crossing the river. I kept saying that in my head. Like, it was just something that I knew I needed to do for myself. But I also knew if the rest of the group wasn't crossing with me, or if we weren't doing it as a team, it wasn't going to happen. And so to reach the other side and turn around and see the group
Yeah.
finishing and and reaching the beach side is basically what we were doing. Here, this is a photo of us. I believe we're looking at the drone. We had all made it to the other side. And the other thing that was just magical that happened is that once we reached the other side, it was a sandy, beachy area. I noticed that there were families like picnicking along the river, and I think it was because it was a little calmer spot than the beach to picnic at, and some were just playing in the sand and having their fun family time. We dropped our bags and immediately got back in the water as a group, and it just felt so nice to be in the water, not have our bags on our head, and it just we all were playing. We were just in a playful, celebratory type of feel and moment. I noticed some of the other families started getting in the water. It was like they wanted to join along.
Uh,
You can see that it's a little more sandy on this side of the river. The background is some of the families that I'm speaking about and some of the terrain.
how many minutes did it take to cross?
Maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I would say.
Okay.
We
Okay.
crossed pretty quickly, and there weren't any, it didn't feel like there were any spots that weren't going to be the wrong route. So it was pretty comfortable, actually, pretty quick and comfortable.
Okay.
But the prep, the getting in and the exiting, that's what took the most amount of time.
Okay.
I think we were at the river about an hour because we got back in, and here we are being playful and proud as a
So
and
Joao explained that it's kind of taking your idea into the future. So Dana, when you were preparing to go, I don't know what kind of journaling exercises you had or how he
Mhm.
prepared you or they prepared you for what could happen here. Did you feel like you were going through a life
Mhm.
affirming experience here?
For sure. Yeah, without going into too much detail, there's a journal that we work out of that is specific to our particular walk in our group that Walking Mentorship prepares for us. And each page is very intentional on where we are within the walk during that week. And again, I mean, it sounds a little selfish to say I knew I was crossing the river, but for me, my home life is very busy and I'm not always in a leadership role and I'm not always getting to make decisions just for myself. So I guess it felt like this is something I want to do. It's something that I've prepared myself physically and mentally and spiritually for. I love water. I've always worked around water as a lifeguard and swim instructor, and I just knew, yeah, it was a point in the journey where it felt like a little bit of a challenge, but exactly what needed to, yeah.
Yeah. And this was the last picture. So everyone's in the water there, including a selfie.
Yeah, and then there's one more of the whole group, but this one Joao
right.
was in, and then the last one we were having, like, I don't know, raising our muscles or something in
Oh,
the
yeah,
water.
you're right. There
It's
is
very
one more.
similar to
There
this
you
one.
go. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's our group. Made it across. We're so excited. It was fun. Just brought us all together.
I love these pictures. I'm going to stop sharing now. Joelle, would you want to share some of the other locations you go? And then if you do individuals or if you do like families, what kind of trips do you tend to lead most often?
Sure. Basically, we have three types of programs. The one we are seeing here, this is what we call an immersive experience because these programs take between 7, 8 days, so usually a full week. And we try to do the programs in places and locations that have such an incredible meaning that just amplify the whole experience. So as we said here, the Fisherman Trail in Portugal, but we go every year to the Camino de Santiago in Spain. We cross the Alps on Via Francigena in two sections between Switzerland and Italy, and also the last stretch to Rome. We do programs in Japan, but also in Spain, in different locations, not only the Camino de Santiago, in Italy, in France. We live in a beautiful world, so it's very easy to do
Yes.
these programs in incredible places.
Yeah.
Also in US, in California, and we do have corporate programs. These are programs that have a little bit of a different format. Usually shorter. So 1, 2, 3 days. Usually companies don't allow people to be away much longer than that, but it's already something very special because it creates an incredible impact. I'm always surprised by the impact of corporate programs. And finally, we have what we call a signature program. So these are journeys or experience where one mentor walks with one person. It's a deep dive during a full week, usually as well. So from US to Japan, passing by many countries in Europe, and hopefully next year we are opening as well a location in Africa. So little by little, we'll allow more people in this environment to go on these self-development journeys, but also having an incredible impact in local communities because we work with usually very small locations, family-run business. They welcome us almost like family. They cook for us. So it's many things in one, let's put it this way. But the most important thing, I think, it's always this inner journey that we quite often know that it's something that we need to do. Very rarely we do it. So traveling is a force of good, but also is a force of change within and outwards as well. So there's multiple dimensions here. And maybe a final note about how important it can be to bring people together that usually will never be together in the same setting. I think this is something that it's very valuable. And I highlight one picture, unfortunately, it's not here. So you need to imagine in your mind, but in our year-end program just happened 1 week ago. On the same picture, we had two people, men and women, and each one of them had a different jacket color. So one was blue, the other one was yellow. But the most important thing when I saw that picture is that one person was Russian and the other one was Ukrainian.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that these are kind of the visions that once in a while we are, able to see. And it makes total sense to explain to people that traveling, transformation, and these inner journeys can be probably the shortest way for a different world.
Oh, I so agree with you. Absolutely. And when we travel, we never know who we're going to run into, who we're going to see, who we're going to be partnered with on some of these things. Do people have to be in pretty good shape, like physically fit to do these? And especially the Alps. Very curious about that.
Well, the good thing is that I think anyone can join unless you have a serious physical condition. We have different programs, different levels, but at the same time, we try to adapt always the journey to the people that are with us. So quite often, actually, they don't even need to know what level they are doing because, for one person, their own personal Everest or Himalaya is 5 kilometers, and for another person is 30.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. So this is something that's why probably one of the reasons we never ever disclose distance in our programs because they don't add any value. I mean, the value is in you doing it. I mean, and then if we decide to reroute and change the program a few times during the week, that's absolutely irrelevant because it's your own journey and we are there to make it possible in the best way possible. Not taking away challenges, as Dana could see, right? We didn't move the river. we left it there. But, this is something that I think it's very beautiful because we never know what each person is bringing inside their own backpack, right? Metaphorically speaking. So it's very easy to judge others, but I think the biggest challenge for a mentor is actually not to fall in that trap and realize that you will only understand that the moment you need to carry somebody else's backpack. And when you do, then you understand that maybe it's really heavy one and you need to make it a little bit easier. So
And can I add to that? Because that just brings me right back to when I got stung on the beach. I had, I think, an allergic reaction on my foot. I stepped on something on the beach the second day, I believe, on our walk, and my foot was in bad shape. I felt physically ready for this walk going into it, and then as soon as that happened, I felt like I couldn't walk. And I was scared. And I was scared because I don't know what happened to me, and I was having a really bad reaction down on the beach. But I also thought that my walk was over. that's also what was entering my brain. And Joao and Nunu came to my rescue and gave me some medicine and kind of helped change my mindset a little bit. And Joao and I started walking ahead of the group, and someone else took my bag and someone else took my shoes. My foot couldn't fit into a shoe. It had blown up. It was black and blue.
Wow.
And so I actually had that experience. Someone else was carrying my bag. And I remember hearing that the tides were going to come up and we needed to keep walking and we needed to get off the beach. So I sopped it up and walked with pain. And within an hour, the medicine kicked in a little bit. And then I was able to walk a little more comfortably. But I had that experience happen where I didn't feel like I could walk anymore. We got through it. And then the other little story I was thinking about is that we had someone in the group whose hip was bothering her most of the walk. And we had a little gathering about a week ago with the group, and she mentioned that some of the same tricks and tools that she was using on the walk that she was being coached on, she's still using, and it's helping with some of her daily activities. So yeah, everyone can walk, even those that
Yeah.
get injured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And it took a team, right? Teamwork
It
helped
takes a
you
team.
keep
Mhm.
going.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other little kind of cool part in that moment that in that day was once my foot felt comfortable enough to put some pressure on it, I wanted my bag back. I didn't want others carrying it. It was kind of like my little safety backpack. And so, yeah, that was interesting because it was heavy, not easy to walk with, but it was my bag. I wanted to carry it.
Excellent. And Joao, you came from corporate America, and you were born in Portugal, went to high school in the US, got your MBA in Belgium, and traveled extensively in corporate America, right? So you're coming to this very, very well thought out, very well planned, and so much leadership in it and helping the others. So it sounds like a fantastic program, and you will be seeing me on one of these shortly.
Actually, I have to say that I quite often joke, but actually, it's not a joke at all. When people ask me what what do I do in life, or how did I come to Walking Mentorship, I usually think I did an internship for almost 25 years in the corporate world, and then finally, after 25 years, they released me and they let me go. But I'm very grateful because the fact that I spent so many years working with, so from one side, yes, demanding and exigent and stressful environments, but at the same time, real, because that's a real life. I mean, and when you are able to connect on the real level with other people, even knowing that now I spend, my days with a backpack and shorts and t-shirt, I think it brings a lot of trust and a lot of respect as well, because it's not something artificial or something that, a book I read or theoretical. This is real. And I think that probably that's what the world needs. It's more real things where we don't need to play roles. You just need to be yourself. And actually, just by being yourself, I think you give the message to the participants that come on these programs that they can be themselves. So we are not trying to indoctrinate them on anything. We are not trying to teach anything. We are not trying to prove anything. We are just there for the others, and to be fair, for ourselves as well, because every time others progress, we progress.
Yeah.
And it's something that makes a lot of sense in today's world. Actually, it's to be there for others without expecting anything, just to be there. And of course, then there's all these beautiful things that happen to us, river crossings, great food, sometimes not so great because we are not in the kitchen cooking. But anyway, it's again, it's real. We are not trying to make people feel something artificial. It's the real thing. And on top, maybe I think this is the cherry on top of the cake, and I rest my case with this, it's the weather. No one controls the weather. I know that these days, there's a part of the planet that wants to control the weather and even claim they can, control the temperature rising and things like that. I'm always a bit amazed by that, because every time I walk outside and I see nature in its full show, I'm thinking, well, good luck to us, because the weather, it's always there, plays its own show, and then it's a teacher all the time. because the weather is always teaching you something. And then, of course, then you might decide to learn or not. And this is the thing that I think it really creates extraordinary layer on the programs, because we can plan everything, strategize everything. We have, our survival kit, the exercise, the dynamic, great partners. And then suddenly, boom, the weather shows up and say, no, 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 let's change the whole thing. And when a person understands that, actually, this is probably the best example for their own lives, which is the weather is like life, then life happens and the weather happens. And that, you dance the music that is playing, and it's quite nice.
I love all of that. That is a great note to end on, the cherry on top. I do want to give you both a chance, for any last words, and definitely how people can find you, João.
Yeah, that's it. walkingmentorship.com. I think if you type that, you will get to these crazy people, beautiful, crazy people. So it's very easy.
I agree. Very beautiful people. And I had maybe 3 or 4 transformational experiences last year, and this one was my favorite. So I wholeheartedly recommend Walking Mentorship. I get to take a walk with my son in July in Spain. And then I'm also planning on doing the Kimono Kodo in October with Walking Mentorships. I just thought I'd share that. And the website does have, it shows all of the walks that are coming in the next year or 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
and we mentioned Nunu. So
yeah.
Joao's partner, pictured in a lot of these photos, who also helped save my life after being stung, is Nunu. He's an awesome mentor.
And Karen, we're looking forward to see you in one
Yes.
of our walks. Don't bring the elephants. We cannot cross the river.
Well, they can certainly show
Just
it.
kidding.
I won't bring the elephants. That's true. So I look forward to it too. I'm so grateful you were both on this show today together to explain this, to talk about it, to let us experience it. So thank you. Have a good day, both of you. And
Thank you.
You
all
Karen.
right. And
Thank you.
to everyone listening and watching, I will connect with you later. So thanks for being with us.